Hello and welcome to PTV World Live from Islamabad. With the news this hour, I am Hira Mustafa.
Joining Hira Mustafa for the news of this hour, I am Ali Ahmed. Let us take you to the headlines first.
Prime Minister Arshad Sharif will pay a two-day visit to China from the 1st of next month at the invitation of Chinese Premier Li Keqiang.
Prime Minister Arshad Sharif's visit to Saudi Arabia is a manifestation of close ties between Islamabad and Riyadh. His visit will further promote bilateral cooperation between the two countries.
Saudi Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman orders release of Pakistanis detained after heckling incident inside Masjid al-Nabawi on the request of Prime Minister Arshad Sharif.
Interior Minister says a three-member JIT comprising officials from FIA, IB and ISI will travel to Kenya immediately to probe the killing of journalist Arshad Sharif.
The mortal remains of senior journalist Arshad Sharif, who was killed in Kenya, were brought to Islamabad early this morning. His funeral prayer shall be offered at Faisal Mosque, Islamabad at 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Kashmiris on both sides of the line of control and across the world over will observe Black Day tomorrow to register protest against illegal occupation of the territory by India on this day in 1947.
Rishi Sunak appoints his team of top ministers on his first day as the UK's Prime Minister.
Emotional Ireland stunned world number 2 England by 5 runs with a fine bowling display in a rain-affected match to throw the T20 World Cup wide open.
Pakistan will play their second match of the T20 World Cup against Zimbabwe at Perth tomorrow. Prime Minister Arshad Sharif will pay a two-day visit to China from the 1st of next month at the invitation of Chinese Premier Li Keqiang. He will be accompanied by a high-level delegation, including Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari. This would be Prime Minister's first visit to China since assuming office in April 2022 and following his meeting with President Xi Jinping in Uzbekistan on 16th of September 2022. The Prime Minister will be among the first leaders to visit China following the historic 20th National Congress of the Communist Party of China. In a statement, Foreign Office spokesperson Asim Iftikhar said the Prime Minister's visit represents the continuity of frequent leadership-level exchanges between Pakistan and China. The Prime Minister will meet with President Xi Jinping and hold delegation-level talks with Premier Li Keqiang. The two sides will review the all-weather strategic cooperation partnership and exchange views on regional and global developments. Asim Iftikhar said the visit is also expected to advance the wide-ranging bilateral cooperation agenda with the conclusion of a number of MOUs, agreements in diverse areas, and consolidate the momentum of CPEC cooperation. Visit of Prime Minister Arshad Sharif to Saudi Arabia is a manifestation of close relations between Islamabad and Riyadh. The visit will further promote bilateral cooperation between the two countries. More in the following report by Alamdar Qasmi.
During his visit to Saudi Arabia, Prime Minister Mohammed Arshad Sharif went to Mecca after his engagements in Riyadh, where he performed Umrah. Finance Minister Ishaq Dar, Minister for Information and Broadcasting Maryam Aurangzeb, Minister of State for External Affairs Hina Rabbani Khar and other members of the delegation also accompanied him. Arshad Sharif offered special prayers for development and prosperity, peace and unity and solidarity of the Islamic world. Earlier, Prime Minister Mohammed Arshad Sharif left for Jeddah from Riyadh to perform Umrah. Then he was sent away by senior officials at the airport. During his stay in Riyadh, an important meeting was held between Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif and Crown Prince and Prime Minister of Saudi Arabia Mohammed bin Salman. He also addressed the Saudi Future Investment Summit. Upon his arrival in Jeddah from Riyadh, he was received by the Governor of Jeddah, Prince Saud bin Abdullah bin Jawali. After performing Umrah, Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif left Jeddah from Medina to pay his respects at the Roza-e-Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Upon his arrival in Medina, Governor of Medina Prince Faisal bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud welcomed Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. Prime Minister Mohammad Shehbaz Sharif offered prayers at Masjid-e-Nabawi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after which the Prime Minister visited Roza-e-Rasool sallallahu alaihi wasallam. On this occasion, special prayers were offered for the development, prosperity, security and unity of the Muslim Ummah. Later, the Prime Minister also visited the graves of the martyrs of the Battle of Uhud. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif left for home after completing a 2-day visit to Saudi Arabia. The Governor of Medina, Prince Faisal bin Salman bin Abdul Aziz Al Saud, saw him off at the airport of Medina Munawwara. Reporting for PTV World, Alamdar Kazmi.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud held a bilateral meeting in Riyadh, during which they reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral relations. Both the leaders have agreed to upgrade and enhance bilateral ties and fraternal bonds between the two countries to new heights, and Saudi Crown Prince termed the fraternal ties between Pakistan and Saudi Arabia very important for the two countries as well as for the region and the entire world.
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia is convening the 6th edition of Future Investment Initiative, which is graced by world's foremost CEOs, policymakers, investors, entrepreneurs, and young leaders to shape the future of international investment in the global economy. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif is in attendance of the Future Investment Initiative Summit at the invitation of Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz. The visit of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif to Saudi Arabia is of critical importance, as both the brotherly countries enjoy deep-rooted ties and have shared values, religion, and culture. Saudi Future Investment Initiative Summit is a momentous opportunity to seek investment in various sectors of Pakistan's economy. Prime Minister is using this opportunity to brief the global economic moguls and the investment firms about various investment opportunities existing in Pakistan and inviting them to invest in different sectors. The Future Investment Initiatives was launched in 2017 as new economic paradigm for the world's largest crude exporter, which is trying to diversify away from oil under Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Moreover, Saudi Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman has ordered the release of Pakistanis detained after heckling incident inside Masjid-e-Nabawi. The Saudi Prime Minister issued orders on the request of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The issue was discussed during the meeting between Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Saudi Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman. Medina court had sentenced 6 Pakistanis to imprisonment ranging from 6 to 8 years of age.
Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif extended gratitude to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, who ordered release of prisoners implicated in April 2022 incident. In a tweet, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif prayed to Allah that He may enable us to exercise restraint and forbearance while forgiving each other's mistakes. On the other hand, Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif says Chairman PTI Imran is playing a dangerous game and is using tragic killing of Arshad Sharif for petty politics and going to the extent of casting aspirations on state institutions. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said he should be patient and wait for findings of Judicial Commission instead of resorting to baseless allegations. The mortal remains of senior journalist Arshad Sharif, who was shot dead in Kenya, was brought to Islamabad in the early hours today. Members of his family received his body at the Islamabad airport. His funeral will be offered tomorrow at Faisal Mosque in Islamabad. Details in the following report.
The mortal remains of slain journalist Arshad Sharif have been brought back to Pakistan. Arshad Sharif was a famous journalist and anchor who hosted primetime show on a private TV channel having large number of viewership. As the news of his killing in Kenya spread through mainstream and social media, condemnations poured in along with condolences with the bereaved family. The family announced that his funeral prayers will be offered at the Shah Faisal Mosque, Islamabad at 2 p.m. Thursday and will be laid to rest at the H11 cemetery in the federal capital. Interior Minister Rana Sanaullah has said a high-level investigation team has been constituted to ascertain the facts related to the murder of senior journalist Arshad Sharif from the Kenyan police and relevant authorities. In a statement today, he said the three-member team comprises of officers from FIA and intelligence agencies and will travel to Kenya immediately. The Interior Minister said the team will submit its final report to the Interior Division. Rana Sanaullah said the investigation team will also completely look into the reasons behind the departure of Arshad Sharif to Dubai and then to Kenya. Addressing a news conference, Information Minister Sindh Sharjeel Inam Memon emphasized to hold transparent investigation into Arshad Sharif's killing. He also pointed out that Imran Khan in his speech revealed the imminent attack on the slain journalist and he should share the name of the person who provided him this information. He questioned that if Arshad Sharif had a life threat, why didn't PTI provincial governments provide him protection? Sharjeel Inam Memon accused Imran Khan of conspiring on Arshad Sharif's murder incident. Meanwhile, the United Nations has also urged Kenyan authorities to conduct a thorough investigation into the killing of senior journalist Arshad Sharif and share its finding with the public. Talking to journalists in New York, spokesman for the UN Secretary General said the circumstances need to be investigated thoroughly.
President Dr Arif Alvi has said that quality education is the need of the hour as education determines the path of development in the country. Addressing a convocation at ICMA in Islamabad, the president urged that paying special attention to the promotion of higher education can play an important role in the improvement of the country's economy. He also stressed upon, instead of quantity, the educational institutions should focus on quality education. The president also distributed the degrees among the graduates. Moreover, the Asian Development Bank has released a grant of $1.5 billion for Pakistan. The amount will be spent on efforts to reduce electricity prices and social uplifting. The Economic Affairs Division has also said that the amount will also help Pakistan deal with the difficult economic conditions. Successful shipment of first consignment from Gwadar Free Zone through web-based One Custom Clearance System or WebOC has been delivered. The China Overseas Ports Holding Company said in a tweet that the landmark development will facilitate Gwadar Free Zone investors by saving the time, money and energy. Earlier this week, FBR issued the operator ID to Gwadar Free Zone Company, transforming the traditional One Custom to a modernized WebOC. Given the new digitalized e-customer clearance system, all entry and exit of the shipments in Gwadar Free Zone will be carried out using WebOC.
Planning Minister Ahsan Iqbal said Pakistan is the fastest urbanizing country in South Asia. Addressing a ceremony in Islamabad, Ahsan Iqbal said it is imperative for our urbanizing country to reallocate its resources to cater the needs of modern era and tackle its problems from new lens. Planning Minister exemplified his point by pointing out that Pakistan is a water-stressed country as we have little capacity for water reservoirs in. He highlighted that using water in a responsible manner, damage control could be effectively brought about. He said we devised water policy in 2018 and we did start work on Diamar Pasha and Momin dams. He revealed that there was no policy at work during 2019 till 2022, while we did summits to turn around Pakistan. Advisor to Prime Minister Qamar Zaman Khaira said Pakistan will continue to extend political and diplomatic support to Kashmiris. Flagged by Hurriyat leaders addressing a press conference in Islamabad, Qamar Zaman Khaira said India is involved in custodial killings of Kashmiris and illegally and forcibly took control of Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. He said October 27 is observed as Black Day around the globe. He said India is involved in human rights violations in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and has deployed more than 1 million troops in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. However, he said India failed to suppress Kashmiri's freedom struggle. The Kashmiris on both sides of a line of control and all over the world will observe October 27 as Black Day to convey a strong message to the international community that they reject illegal occupation of Jammu and Kashmir by India. It was on 27th October in 1947 when Indian troops had invaded Jammu and Kashmir and occupied it in total violation of the partition plan of the subcontinent and against the Kashmiris' aspirations. Call for observance of the day has been given by the All-Party Hurriyat Conference. The APHC has also appealed for complete shutdown in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir on October 27th. The APHC, in a statement issued in Srinagar, called upon the global community to get up from deep slumber and take some practical steps to ensure the exercise of the Kashmiris' right to self-determination through plebiscite as acknowledged by UN Security Council.
Meanwhile, Indian troops martyred one more Kashmiri youth in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir today. The troops martyred the youth in a fake encounter during a continued military operation in Satpura area of the Kupwara district. Also, thousands of people attended the funeral prayers of senior leader of all parties Hurriyat Conference and the patron of Jammu and Kashmir Ittihadul Muslimin Maulana Abbas Ansari in Srinagar. The 86-year-old passed away after prolonged illness at his Nawakadal residence in Srinagar yesterday. The dead body of the Maulana Abbas Ansari was taken in a huge procession to his ancestral graveyard at Baba Mazar in Zadibal area of Srinagar. Thousands of people from all walks of life, including Hurriyat leaders, participated in his funeral, which was led by his son Masroor Abbas. He was laid to rest amid sobs and tears. More about Kashmir. It was on 27th of October in 1947 when Indian troops had invaded Jammu and Kashmir and occupied it in total violation of the partition plan of the subcontinent and, of course, against the Kashmiris' aspirations. Now, in this connection, the Kashmiris observe October 27th as Black Day to convey a strong message to the international community that they reject illegal occupation of Jammu and Kashmir by India. Details to follow in this following report by Asiya Altaf.
It is clear that we have taken a position about the need for Security Council resolutions to be implemented and for effective de-escalation and dialogue linked to that, with another very important condition, which is full respect for human rights and continental freedoms in Jammu and Kashmir.
For 70 years we have fought the battle, and today we are supposed to be the culprits. The Article 370 or 35A guaranteeing the special status of the state was granted by Government of India. How we've been made from a state into a union territory? Are they going to divide people's hearts also? Our politics will continue to fight. What worries me is that what must be the ordinary man going through?
See, people of Kashmir have been dealing with these situations for 70 years now, and the last 30 years have been a situation of active war, where we have seen 6 to 10 people die every single day.
Basically a constitutional coup. This is an attack on the constitution.
It was an important symbol for the Kashmiri people. It is a symbol that they were unique. They're the only state where the Muslims are a majority. So that symbol has been taken down, and I think that is something which is going to be a bit of a psychological shock.
Under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, which India has ratified, the right to freedom of opinion and expression includes the freedom to seek, receive, and impart information. The fact that hardly any information at all
पान दी लड़को जो चाइनी क्यूआर तालक्षी वो छाड़ान लड़को के तुम बेनी तुम गाइड थे नहीं पतलाड़े सक पातलो
New Delhi has ramped up its military deployments in occupied Jammu and Kashmir, making it militarized zone in the world. The serial brutalization of Kashmiris takes many forms: extrajudicial killings, incarceration, custodial torture and death, indiscriminate use of force, deliberate targeting of Kashmiri youth with pellet guns, and collective punishments imposed on entire communities. The Pakistani people have always stood by our Kashmiri brothers and sisters in complete solidarity and will continue to do so, no matter what, until their right to self-determination is fully realized in accordance with the relevant UN Security Council resolutions.
More about the National Front, where Supreme Court heard contempt of court case against Imran Khan, the former premier. A five-member bench headed by Chief Justice Umar Ata Bandial conducted the hearing. The court asked Imran Khan to answer the allegations levelled in the reports of police and agencies. The court also sought answers from Imran Khan's lawyers, Babar Awan and Faisal Fareed. The court asked why the assurances given to the court during the long march were not implemented effectively. Chinese ambassador to Pakistan, Nongrong, called on Minister for Planning and Development Ahsan Iqbal in Islamabad. Now, during the meeting, they discussed the ongoing CPEC projects. Ahsan Iqbal expressed his satisfaction over the progress of the projects. He said Pakistan will become a hub of development with the help of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. The Chinese envoy lauded the efforts being made by Minister for Planning and Development and assured him full of cooperation in completion of the projects.
At the United Nations, Pakistan has called for respecting and implementing the Indus Water Treaty between Islamabad and New Delhi in letter and spirit. Speaking at a preparatory meeting for the UN Water Conference 2023 in New York, Pakistan's permanent representative to the United Nations, Munir Akram, said any changes on the other side of the border have a direct impact on Pakistan. He stressed the need to ensure transboundary water cooperation to ensure the rights and obligations of lower and upper riparian states. The president of Global Dignity, Giovanna Mengarelli, met with the governor of Punjab along with the delegation. Giovanna Mengarelli is also an advisor to Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau on youth and women's development projects. The delegation included women entrepreneurs and human rights activist Arika Shea, Zoe Aldafer, and Pakistani youth climate leader Kaisi Nawab. Governor Punjab thanked the Government of Canada for the assistance to the flood victims. The Governor of Punjab said that Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is very popular among Pakistani people for his stance against Islamophobia and humanitarianism. The Islamabad College for Girls organized a Seereth conference in Islamabad. Renowned Islamic scholars Madam Negat Hashmi and Madam Shagufta Umar addressed the audience and shed light on different aspects of the life of Holy Prophet Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him. Speaking on the occasion, headmistress of the senior section and principal emphasized the importance of educating the younger generation about the teaching of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The ceremony started with the recitation of the Holy Quran. Students and teachers presented hamd and naat to pay respect to the last messenger, Hazrat Muhammad, peace be upon him, who is a beacon of light for the entire humanity. The conference was well attended by a maximum number of students, parents and staff of the school as a part of religious fervor and enthusiasm. At the conclusion of the conference, special prayer was also offered to pay respects and reverence. The wife of late renowned journalist Arshad Sharif passed away. She was a sister-in-law of PTV Current Affairs Director on Sharif. The funeral prayer of the deceased will be offered at 8:30 p.m. in Daska, Sialkot. The deceased was ill for some time, and now it's time to have a look at the stories from around the globe.
I'm Mustafa and the entire news team of BTV World. For more news and details, keep watching BTV World.